Hey Dominic, give me 1 second. I'm still typing some things out real quick. There's my chat. I don't know why my chats don't want to show up sometimes. Okay, good. Alright. I think I got everything. I got my water. The dogs are accounted for. Alright, I guess I got a little bit of time. But alright, let's start this. But hey, look, I'm alive. Anyway. So what is going on today? I think we're pretty much done with the whole Return to the War 13 event. Maybe not, maybe there's like 2 more days left. I can't really remember. But we're still back doing remnant stuff. On Thursday, I had gone through some testing of Beyond Hell mod. Things had changed since last time I tested it, which was like a year ago. And then me and Bolt did some fresh character apocalypse hardcore characters stuff on Saturday, which we got our asses kicked, but we were expecting that to happen. We were very rusty. So today, as the last day, I'm going to be streaming Remnant for a little bit. Once I have more stuff done with Beyond Hell, I'll stream more. But today, we're going to be just doing some live editing and changing of things that are very undertuned and never get used. Mostly a lot of the mutators and trinkets, amulets, and rings, because there's only a handful of them that are actually used. But I think a lot of them just need a slight numerical change to be interesting enough to use. Some things, numbers aren't going to save them, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to each one of those. And so those we're going to save for mechanical changes that I actually need already to do, because as far as modding goes, I could only permanently change numbers. I'm not good enough to do like actual mechanical changes to things. So I'm gonna go back and through and do a balance pass on mutators, trinkets, and not relics yet. Relics will do later. We got a bigger, grander ideas for relics. But anyway. Obviously, we want to do more things than just shuffle numbers around, because that's kind of boring. More mechanical things and more pieces to make a build function are a lot more interesting. But given how long it's taken to do this mod, like we don't really have the time to do that, and we also don't have the manpower or the tools. So I want to get as much as done as I can to get as close to like just a 1.0 release until something changes and we can do more serious work. Because there's still a lot on our plates. But yeah, so that's gonna be today. I'm gonna be just going through and using F model and my Lua scripting to adjust the trinket values to make them a bit more appealing. So that's what I'm doing. So right now I've just been going through a list of everything that rarely sees any use and thinking about what changes would be enough to make them worthwhile. I gotta finish going through the rings real quick, and then we'll open up F model and start making changes and periodically testing them out and see how they feel. So that is what we're doing. So for the most part, I'm not actually playing any games today. I'm just going to be modding. And yeah, with that, I'm just going to keep my background music on and start looking at stuff. And if people have ideas, even things beyond like numerical changes, so I can write them down for later, by all means, let me know, and we can write that down and put that as a suggestion for the Beyond Hell mod. So I will be talking about my thought process as I go through these rings and as I go back and find this stuff and try to edit things. I gotta remember how to do everything properly, so, you know, deal with me on that. Power Saver, max health. See, Power Saver doesn't really work well. There's a lot of trinkets in this game that have a chance to not consume relic charge, but there's very few things that actually buff relics, so I don't think that this is anything that's, like, numbers aren't going to fix this. I could put this at, you know, 80% chance to not consume a relic at full life, but it's still like, it's not great, so I'm going to just pass on it for now. I prefer to have things that, once we can figure it out later on, is increase the effectiveness of relics, so relics will, like, effectiveness would be like, okay, this will give us more bulwark stacks, or this will give us more damage reduction, or we'll spawn more flowers, things that amplify relics rather than just let you use more of them, which is kind of boring. So I want that for relics. So we're not going to touch a whole lot of relic stuff right now. Let's continue on. Probability chord's still incredibly good. Propulsion loop is terrible as far as I remember. Killing an enemy gives me 0.5% and consumable use speed by 10%. Oh god, yeah. So that's the problem with all the on-kill effects. Again, something that I don't necessarily want to numerically change. I want mechanical changes, like on kill you get something and then you can refresh it with, you know, weak spot hits or something. I have to add a mechanical layer to that, which I can't do, not yet. So for now, what I've been wanting to do for these on-kill effects is increase their duration, so it gives you more time to go from pack to pack. And 15% movement speed and 30% consumable use speed is fine. Like, it's not great, but it's better than nothing. But rather than be 10 seconds, I think 20 seconds to give us enough time to, you know, keep it going. I can't really touch Provisioners Ring, it's also really good. And it strikes gray health into health. I don't think that's bad. There's gray health builds definitely need a lot of health. I think converting like 10% is a little low. I think maybe 20%. It still takes 5 swings. Well, realistically, you're gonna cap at like 50%, and after that, you're gonna like one shot. So 2 or 3 swings getting you back up if you're gonna do like a great health conversion build and actually, you know, want to get your health back. I think that's okay. Ravager's Bargain's actually not terrible. It's new. Reaping Stone, I think this is terrible. Yeah, so after an elemental side effect is removed, and then you're immune and you get 5% leech for 10 seconds. Granted, 5% leech now is pretty good because we did nerf a lot of the leech, but even so, 10 seconds on Reaping Stone is very low uptime. So I'm just gonna move it to 20 seconds. I don't know how often you're gonna be able to apply and cleanse a status effect, so we want that to be a bit more usable. Red Ring of Death. This ring is actually really fucking terrible because the reducing outgoing status effect damage actually hurts all your dots, and duplication all tends to duplicate the first dot you apply, and then when you refresh, it's just a random dot, so a lot of times you get like low dots. So I'm gonna reduce the dot penalty from 10% to 5%. The ring still, I mean, at that point, it's probably worthwhile, but you're also trading a ring slot to get double of a bad dot, effectively. Rerouting cable is actually really good, but I want to change this to be, rather than be 5 seconds of falling off, I want it 10 seconds, so you have time to regen your stamina and go again. Not a bad ring, but not used very often. Reserve boosting gem's actually not terrible, but rather than have it be good while you're below 50%, let's make it halfway decent up to 75%. Again, not gonna like fucking break the game, but maybe some people, as they're like making new characters or whatever, might use it a bit more often if you get better regen for more percentage of your health. Yeah, life restricting builds are, I mean, there's too much sacrifice for what you get out of them, and I don't like just giving them flat damage. I want to make something that's like, hey, if you have like less than 50% of your life, then like you apply double bleed dots or something. I think that'd be really cool. Do like a bleed build low life. I'll do something. I don't want to just do like standard, you know, stat bumps for being at low health, because at that point, when you're building low health, you're also going to build for crazy defense, and then if you give them a bunch of offense too, you're basically making it so there's no real downside. Ring of Ashes. Stowed weapons get 15 mod power per second. Honestly, that's not terrible. It's no, it kind of is. I was like, because if you're playing Mod Swapper, you're swapping more than once per second. And if you're not playing Mod Swapper, then I think just having mod power generation is better. I don't see anyone ever use Ring of Ashes, but maybe 20 mod power per second. Let's see, hold on. No, because no, it should be a lot higher. Because you think a lot of mods have about 800 to 1,000 you know, mod cost. So if you're even getting 30 mod power per second, I mean, without shooting anything, that's still 30 seconds of inactivity to be able to use a mod for free. So it's not great, but it's not terrible. Plus, like, Cartographer Sigil is just 10 for both your weapons all the time, regardless. So I think having conditional spending on ring slot for just your stowed weapon should be better. Ring of Bones. Again, relic stuff is kind of whack. I want to bump this from 15 seconds to 30 seconds. I want to have a lot of the relic stuff be lasting 30 seconds, because then that allows you to use I forget the necklace that perfect dodges use relics like once every 30 seconds, or the dough amulet I think does that. It's like every 30 seconds, you know, reuse it. So I want that to be like upkept with the dough amulet. Ring of Crisis is actually not terrible either for defense builds. I just don't like 10-second duration stuff because it doesn't seem very often like you have to use it or lose it immediately. So let's just give you the shield for 20 seconds. See if that's, you know, worthwhile. Ring of Deflection. This is such a weird one too. So like, again, gray health builds are in a weird spot. I like this ring, but being a 50-50 of having all the damage converted to gray health is like, no one wants to rely on a 50-50. Even in 80, like, no one wants to rely on that, because there's just a chance that you'll just die instead of, you know, getting converted to gray HP. So there's nothing I can do to that ring to make it better other than just give it a 100% chance and have all damage converted to gray health, which I think there is already something for that, so I don't really want to touch that yet, but I'll come back to that at some point. Ring of Diversion's actually good. Flawed Beauty. It's not good in base game, but it is good in Beyond Health because additive modifiers are actually pretty strong. So 25% additive is pretty good. So I'll leave that. Taking enemy damage plus 6%. See, like, Ring of Grace is terrible. It's basically 1.5% health regen for 10 seconds after you take a hit. That's not good. So what if you did 40% of your health over 10 seconds? That's still over 10 seconds after getting hit is a lot, but 40% is pretty good. And again, if stuff ends up being like too good, then obviously we're gonna nerf it and change it. I just need something to make people want to use an item. Ring of Infinite Damage. I'm also going to slightly buff. No, I can't actually. The 8's too thematic with it. I like Ring of Infinite Damage, but all it does is 8% fire rate. I know the joke is it just says 8. If that was an actual flat 8, holy fuck, it would be broken. But it'd also be really cool having a flat number increase. Because then you could change like an AR from 7.3 to 15.3. Fucking nuts. But anyway, so we're not doing that. But the problem I have with this ring is that there's a couple rings and things you just have haste on for a ring. And haste is 7% every action speed, which also includes fire rate. So haste is just better. You lose 1%, but you get like a lot more for it. So I don't really like this ring, but I can't really change it either. Ring of Omens. I like Ring of Omens. I like the smoky dodge you get with it. The gray health sucks, but I think you can use it for gray health regen builds if we prop those up properly. Ring of Ordnance is incredibly good. It's basically infinite energy. I think there's a build that uses Ring of Phantom Pain for great health conversion. I'll have to look into that one. I don't know what to change for this one either yet. We're stalking. See, like, this is a terrible ring. You have to reload within 5 seconds of a critical kill or weak spot kill. And then you only get 20% faster reload. Like, that's way too many conditions for anyone to ever want to use this. So we're gonna reload within, let's say 10 seconds of a kill. So you have time to, clear the room or whatever. And we're gonna make your reload 50% faster. Income damage, increase the reload speed. That's actually not bad if you build tanky setups. All damage 15% and reload speed 15% on a ring is pretty hot. Mod generation by 3% for each active consumable, max 5. The problem is 15% isn't very much mod generation for having conditions attached. Not many, but I don't like it too much. Nobody ever uses this one. So let's say rather than 3%, 4%. So you get 20% mod power regen if you meet the conditions. Slightly better. Ring the Castaway. Also not a good ring. People only use this to put on concoctions and then that's it. So actually I'm not even going to touch it because I need to try more mechanical changes for that one. Ring of the Damned is really, really good. Like, was it like 40%? No, it's 20% damage for a ring and 5% crit. Like, if you're doing gray health, it's kind of crazy. You just need to support gray health better. Ring of the Forest Spirit, relic healing effectiveness, 15%. Again, this is not something that I think I can numerically change to make people want it more. And I want to change relics to be better, but this is healing effectiveness, which is something I do want. It just doesn't work on most relics. Maybe 30% healing effectiveness might make it. See, the only problems too. Tank builds. Like, is it gonna break tank builds? And honestly, I don't know. Is it gonna make them like way too good? I don't know if they use that ring at all, but again, I'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Ring of the Robust is actually good. Ring of the Bane. 35% less iframes for 35% ADS speed. Again, not a ring that I think anyone ever uses. But it's also not a terrible ring. The really problem with this one is that ADS speed is capped by at 50% increased ADS speed. Like, I've tried builds at like 75, 100, 160% ADS speed. and they all move the same. So there is an internal cap for that we would have to change before doing any changes to that is worthwhile. Rocket Anguish, 5% missing with 25% of missing health. So this is another ring that's like, no one's running around with 75% of health missing. And even then, you get 15% movement speed and 20 reload speed for that. No. Terrible, terrible. So what if we did, instead of every 25% health missing, we do every 15%. So if you're doing like a 50% low life, then at least you're getting 2 stacks. No, you get 3 stacks. Yeah, we'll do that. You could get higher, but 50% is kind of where you want those cutoffs, I think. And 2 stacks of Borgs going around below 50% max health. Again, something that I can't really touch. 3 stacks might be a bit much, because Bulwark's also really good in Beyond Hell, but the condition of being at 50% sucks. Sapphire Dreamstone. Did we change this already? Is it 2-second cooldown? 4% every 2 seconds? Let me look up the toolkit. I feel like that's normal. Sapphire Dreamstone. Yeah, it's 4% every 2 seconds. And the problem I've always had with this one is the 2-second cooldown. Because getting 4% of your skill cooldown, which is, you know, a lot of the times not even a second every 2 seconds, like, it's a lot of crit for not that much skill cooldown. So what if we did it so it's 5 or 6% skill cooldown reduction instead of 4%? I'm okay with the 2% cooldown on the skill or on the ring activation, because you don't want it to be only usable for automatic weapons, but I do want it to be slightly more skill cooldown. So let's just say 6%. If it was 10 would be way too high. Yeah, let's go with 6 for now, and then see if it's, you know, more appealing. Seal the Empress is actually really good. Sealed Resin Loop is really good. See, like, this is cool too, but I want relic related effects to be about 30-second duration, so they can be sustained easier. Dot damage is good, skill damage is good, mod damage is fine. Shield Alternator, that's fine too. Shiny Hog Lure was really broken back when people were using it for Crescent Moon, because basically every single shot weapon was the full 50 mod power. And I forget what change had happened to this to nerf it, and then people stopped using it, and I don't remember what that nerf was. But it was like, is 50 mod power for the bow all that good? Let me see here. I take like everything off. Crescent Moon. Put on Supercharge, or this one, and Shiny Hog Lure. Oh, my charge rate is so low. I'm curious, just after the duration of this mod, how much mod power am I gonna have? Yeah, I don't... I mean, it was pretty much almost full. Alright, maybe it is still good. Alright, I won't touch Shiny Hog Lure. It's not so... I mean, I did have Insight on in Spirit, but I think Shiny Hog Lure is probably still playable. I won't touch that. Singe Ring is super good. Slayer's Crest, melee damage by 20% when 25% attacking from behind. How often do you get to attack shit from behind? As much as I would like that to be more usable, I don't think any number I make this would be good. So I'm just going to crank it up to 60%. If you get hit in the back, great. You deserve it. Soul Feast is actually a really cool ring. I used this for a while on the self-sacrifice build. But really, Summoner's the only one that can really make use of this ring. And 8% skill cooldown every time like you sacrifice your minions is not a lot. I wonder if we can crank this to like 15%. If that would be great. Let's see. It's like, what if we just did like some quick skill cooldown? .5%, 12.9 seconds. Yeah, like, that extra 8% is really not doing much for me right now. So you automatically get some refund for being Summoner already. Yeah, I mean, it helps, but I would like that to be like a playstyle that you can do, is running a sacrifice summoner build more reliably, because I do have builds for it, but it's not great. I think it does use this ring though. Yeah, like you get like one extra cast of that ring. Like it's not good. So yeah, I'll put this at 15%. Maybe we could see some use for it later. Feast. Soul Guard is really good. Minions in general are just really good. Soul Link is really good. Soul Shard is really good. Spirit Alternator, I don't think this ring is good at all, but I don't know if any amount would make this worthwhile. It's just having to put on shield to get mod power. It's kind of weird. I don't know, maybe I'll see if I can build something with it if I crank it up a bit, and then if it's too OP then I can crank it back down, but I don't know. Like 250%, because like if you get 100% of your life as shield, you get 250 mod power, which is still not a lot. Spirit Stone, I hate this ring. I'm gonna put it to 15%. Stockpile chargers, not terrible. 20% duration's already good. It's just picking up MOs as a trigger is like not super viable in a lot of cases. Nobody likes picking up MO mid-fight. Stone of Balance is actually okay. Oh, Stone of Continuance. This got nerfed from Orbit back in like DLC 1, maybe DLC 2. I don't even recall. But yeah, we're gonna put this back to its 25% skill duration. Stone of Expanse is really good. The Malevolence is still good as far as I recall. I think it's still good. Stone of Revelation is terrible. So rather than 5% and 10 against exposed, let's do 7.5 and 15. It's not anything major, but for a ring slot, if you're already getting exposed, that's basically a shoe-in. Oh, This one was actually really cool. So Strands of Sinew, and then there's another one that like while you're overcharging, getting more damage at the cost of charge rate for weapons, I think is great. The problem is they're just not effective at all. You're gonna lose 30% of your charge time, which is effectively 30% of your damage, but you're only getting 20% out of it. It's terrible. Hey Fako. Things are going slowly, but they're going. So what number would make this viable? I think slowing charge time by 25% would probably look okay. But obviously the damage has to be beyond that, because even if you get 25% more damage, that's still net nothing. And then you're also out of ring slot, which could be another 10, 15. So maybe 40% would be okay. Maybe 40%. So let's just say range charge damage from 20% to 40%. So Beyond Hell is unfortunately going slow. So I kind of want to kick it into high gear, because I do want like a 1.0 release sometime. We've been working on this like 2 years. Unfortunately, our main developer is kind of out on medical leave right now, so we can't get any work done. We haven't had any work done in months. We do have some artists that are working on modeling and stuff, and it's coming out great. I'm really excited to get the models in. So the goal right now is to basically have everything we have in the game currently done. Like we need skill icons for Chronomancer. We need models and stuff for a lot of these rings that don't have anything yet. And once we get those, and then the general balance patch out of the way, I want to stop and do like a 1.0 release. So it could be like, okay, this is the base mod. And then if we get, you know, better Unreal 5 tools, or Ari comes back, or anyone else, any other mod developers can help us on the project, then we can pick it up again. But I want to just get something out, so we're not just like, oh yeah, it's being worked on. So what I'm doing today is, what about the third class? Warlock is not anywhere near close to being done. It's like, it's there, but it's a shell. It's not a thing right now. In fact, if we're gonna do like a 1.0, I'm gonna take out Warlock because it's nowhere near ready. But we have other archetypes planned. So we had the Assassin and the Mimic. And I think we had one more, but those so we had like 3 more classes ready to go, but just don't have time. So yeah, so today what I'm doing is, because I wanted to do a more mechanical change of a lot of the trinkets and stuff that don't see any use. We haven't touched a lot of the trinkets, rings, mutators and stuff that are just terrible, because, you know, most of them are terrible. But since Ari's gone and we can't really do a lot of mechanical changes, I'm going through a balance pass today and just changing a lot of the rings and such to be more appealing. And so they're at least different, and maybe you can make some new builds around some better rings and amulets that you wouldn't have used before. And while it's not the thing that we wanted to do, because just changing numbers around isn't very fun or interesting, sometimes it can be, but for the most part it's not. But this is all we can do until we get someone who can actually do mechanical changes and stuff. So I'm just going through this stuff today. I think I'll just talk myself in a circle for like 30 seconds, but I'm just going through and doing a balance patch on pretty much everything that never got used. Stream coupler, skill regen 25% max health over 10 seconds. That's 2.5 health per second. Not great. I think it sees use on fresh characters going through, but if we did 30% health over 15 seconds, actually it's less health per second, but no, let's go 35% health over 15 seconds, so it's slightly better. Just gives you more duration. Basically, you should be able to have like a 50% uptime on that with general like 30-second skill use. If you have like skill cooldown, this should be okay. I don't think it's gonna break anything. Oh, yeah, sorry, the music's loud. Let me turn it down. I'm not really talking a whole lot. I'm just doing this. So, let's see, is that better? It's about -30. All right. Yeah. Subterfuge. Killing an enemy increases cast speed of the next skill or mod casts for 35% or until consumed. Another thing that's like, I mean, one cast of a mod or skill, and this is the thing, I hate mod and skill cast speed because it doesn't work on like 90% of mods, because every mod is you change it into an ammo basically that you fire from a gun, and unless it's one of those, it doesn't get this effect. So it's basically skill cast speed by 35%, and that's okay, but spending a ring slot to get one skill cast speed is kind of like whatever. Yeah, I know. I feel really bad about it, Faco. That's why I really want to get like a 1.0 done. We have a decent amount of stuff added to the game, and at least I can be like, look, this is what we got done for now. It's been way too many problems. Fucking Unreal is such a nightmare. Subterfuge. So subterfuge, if you kill an enemy, the next 15 seconds I think is fine. What amount of cast speed would seem like it's worth a ring slot? Because you gotta think, because this can't affect things like Engineer or Havoc Form on Archon, because once you use the skill, it's gonna get consumed. It's only good for a one-shot thing, like Stomp, Quick Draw, Way of Kayula. I don't know, like a couple things. I'm gonna make it 70%. I don't give a shit. 70% cast speed after you kill something one time. Maybe someone will use it. Hi Frosty, have fun at work. All right. Simple Royalty, Perfect Dog. It's 1 stack of Bulwark for 10 seconds, 3 stacks. This is actually not a bad ring either. Here in Beyond Hell, Bulwark is actually pretty decent. I don't like low duration things though, because I feel like a pain to micromanage all of them. So I'm just gonna change this from 10-second duration to 15 seconds. It might be a bit more comfy. You can maintain that better. Targeting Jewels actually pretty good. Tarnished Ring is good. Tear of Kayula is for early game. Tear of Kayula is amazing, and you kind of have to go through Yeisha through the campaign. So I'm not going to touch this one because 2 relic capacity is great. Just obviously once you get like your max relics, you know, you don't need 12 out of 10. If this was increased relic capacity by 2 times, that'd be sick. I wonder if you could do percentages. I'm gonna look at that in F model and check that out later, because if I could do a percentage increase, that might be pretty cool. They just do like 100% more relics. Healing effectiveness and lifesteal effectiveness by 20%. Reduce healing effectiveness by 1 for each 10% of missing relic capacity. So you get 20%, and then for every relic you're down, you lose 1.5%. I don't think that's great. I don't think I've seen anyone ever use this ring. So let's change this to 30% of healing effectiveness and lifesteal. That makes it about the same as a trait, but you're still going to lose some if you lose relic charges, which I think is okay. Chronomancer can lock all the relic effects. Yeah, I guess it could, huh? If you status pause. Yeah, we can look at that. I'll write that down. I don't know if you put that in the the Discord, but I'll write it down and put a note of it. So yeah. All right, I wrote it down. I'll put it in the dev tracker, and then we can make it so relic buffs fall off if you unequip it, which seems reasonable. Well, that's the other thing too, is that I need to change Chrono, or not necessarily Chronomancer, but Slipstream Ring, because that one ring, if you have some haste stacks on you, gives you so much flipping damage. It's insane. So that's definitely on the chopping block for sure. And yeah, Soldier Chrono is kind of gross. You get full weak spots. You get some skill cooldowns, so you can upkeep your permanent, status buffs. Yeah, it's a little silly. I know that one needs to be nerfed for sure. Tempest Conduit's really good. Thalos Islet is really good. Tightly wound coil. This one's cool, but again, I just want things that have slightly longer duration, so you're not constantly having to upkeep things so much. So rather than 5 seconds, we'll just make this 10 seconds. Timekeepers is cool. Token of Favor is good. Tolerance Span's good. Momentum and Corrupted Nebula. Yeah, well, with giving stuff permanent weak spot and being able to lock that. Yeah, so that's the thing. So I don't have that in this version that's out available for the public, but I'd already nerfed Corrupted Nebula because Corrupted Nebula is absurd with Soldier. Is it on here? Let's see. Weapon changes, Mirage, Voltage, Thorn. Oh, maybe it's in mods. It's in here somewhere, but yeah, I nerfed Corrupted Nebula's explosion because not only is it an explosion that stacks with Soldier, but you can also weak spot it, and it's so dumb. It's so dumb. But yeah, so put stuff like that in the Discord so that we more people get their eyes on it. It's like I test stuff, but a lot of stuff I have isn't applied to everyone yet. Let's see. Tomb Dwellers. Use movement speed after vaulting climbing 6 times. Tomb Dwellers is cool, but I wish it actually increased like the climbing animation and leaping animation, not just your movement speed. Again, not something I could change with numbers. That's something that mechanically would need to get changed, but I would want Tomb Dwellers to be like, I can climb ladders faster, I can vault faster. That'd be really neat. Transient Cord. I mean, 10% crit chance and 10% crit damage on relic use seems fair, and then constantly losing it sucks. So let's do this. Let's make it last from 15 seconds to 30 seconds, because again, I want like all the relic stuff to, be 30 seconds to match relic buffs. And then you lose 1% every 1.5 seconds. So then rather than every 1.5 seconds, we'll do every 3 seconds. And right now I'm just getting my ideas, and I have to go into F model and change everything. So I'm just going through the list of stuff right now. See, and that's the hard part. Weak spot is weak spot. So like, yes, it's super OP with Soldier, but it's not good pretty much anywhere else. If anything, honestly, maybe I'll talk to Ari, and if and when Ari comes back, I'll talk to him, and if he can make it so that the weak spot granted by Soldier is weak spot damage, but doesn't trigger things that trigger on weak spots, then I think that would work. It would nerf things without having to actually nerf things. Vacuum seal. I'm going to increase the automatic pickup range to like 300% and see what happens, because I always wanted more vacuum range. The Siege of Power, technically actually a good ring. Wax sealed. Again, another bad ring. On kill stuff is shitty already. 15 seconds isn't terrible, but I'm gonna change it from 4% to a 5% buff and 15-second duration to 20-second duration. And then you can get 15% range and melee damage for a ring, pretty good, but you have to keep killing stuff, which sucks. Again, people probably still aren't even gonna use it, but gives me a better baseline to work with. White glass bead is not terrible, but again, I just want stuff to be a little bit more long lasting. So let's go 10 seconds to 15 seconds, just so you can actually enjoy it for a little bit. White pawn stamp is good. Wind hollow circlet is actually pretty good. Wired inhibitor is good. Wood ring is not, but stagger is good. So I think if we crank that up from 15 to 40% stagger, I think you'll notice more staggers, and that'd be pretty good. We have 100% stagger on soldier. Actually, I'm just making 45. We have 100% stagger on soldier, and you do notice the extra staggers you get on enemies. So maybe a ring giving a little less than half of that might be worthwhile. Xania's is always good, you know, like 20% weak spot damage. Zohe's is terrible. 20% mod duration is often like 1-2 seconds for most things. So 40%. Plus, they're also using a ring slot on it. 10 seconds and deal double damage. No, double damage would be stupid. Come on, double damage. It's not, because the problem is, it's not hard to not take damage, because if you put on a shield, you're technically not taking damage. If you put on Invader with Void Cloak, you're not taking damage. If you put on Nightfall and you can like walk around and stuff's not really going to hit you, you're not going to take damage. Getting double damage would be silly. Make it only melee damage. I'm not against that. If you don't take damage for 10 seconds in melee range, you get double melee damage. That I can get behind, but that would be a difference that I can't do because I can't take off the range damage. I have to wait for Ari. Like I said, I can only do numerical changes right now. Not what I want to do, but I want to get something out there, and it gives me something to do before, you know, we can get some actual modding done. So, okay, so I think I went through amulets, rings, and mutators. Stuff that just doesn't see use. So let's go into F model and pull up my script. I don't want new ones. These. Alright, where are we gonna start? I guess start at the top and we'll go through mutators. Oh, I gotta find the mutators. I found them before. Where were they? Emerald, base items, gems. Where were these? More base. Huh. Hold on, I know I wrote it down. We gotta find. I hate finding stuff in F model. Where is Kobayas? Because I talked to him about it. They're not in the World Brothers. Okay. Oh, so that's what we're gonna do, Fago, is so with the melee stuff, we gave up the idea of balancing melee to be like its own build because there's too many enemies and bosses and whatnot that you pretty much can only hit with the ranged melee weapons, which I think is kind of stupid and kind of defeats the point that you're playing a melee build, but the only weapons that you can really build around are the ranged ones because they have to be able to hit like all the bosses. So we're going to scrap the idea of having pure melee focused builds, and we're going to make more legendary prisms and items to have more synergy with ranged melee builds and mod melee builds, so that you want to be alternating melee mod and ranged mod, or melee ranged. And there are a couple items and things that do that already, but they're obviously terrible. But we want to do that. So when we start making more of the legendary prisms, that's one of the things I really want to do, and because I think that would be much, much better. Because I think you're right. Obviously, we need to have like all synergistic builds with melee, not melee dependent builds. Where the heck were the stupid meta gems? Meta gems, that's where they are. Okay. So they're in meta gems. Where is battery? Bandit's fine. And then I gotta find out. There was a thing I could search for that would get me right down to where I needed to move. And I can't recall what the search function was. But I do know that it's always kind of near the bottom. So like, let's go here. And we're gonna add a new mutator. Okay, so I make sure all my commas are in the right spot. Okay. So one thing, I have to make sure that every little thing is right, or it's gonna fuck the whole thing up. So anyway, so battery, what are we gonna do for battery? Just increase the duration, right? Yeah, battery just has increased duration. So the buff duration is only 10 seconds for battery. So let's see. Let's grab that. No. It should be here. Blueprint. Oh, I'm just not taking the quote, right? Okay. Okay, so let's go to the calm. Battery, location. Looks right. Okay. And then these obviously are not the lines that I want. How did I mess up that line? Okay, so then I want buff duration. And then we're gonna make that from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. And I think that's it. I think I'm gonna leave battery the same otherwise. Yeah, because you can get 60% weak spot multi by spending mod power. It just doesn't last very long. So I think having more duration would be okay. All right. And then bottom heavy. Oh, bottom feeder came up first. Do I not have bottom feeder in here? Do I not have bottom feeder? Huh. Alright, well, I gotta go find that real quick. Bottom feeder. Where the heck? How did I not have bottom feeder? I think bottom feeder was a decent mutator too. Sorry, I'm looking up the bottom feeder. Bottom feeder. Well, that's spirit feeder. Is bottom is bottom feeder? That is the right. It's spirit feeder. What? I am getting confused. Is it in the game still? Hold on. Bottom. It's not on the toolkit. I remember bottom feeder being a thing. Okay, I guess I'm just misremembering, but okay. Alright, see you later, Paco. How boring we're talking. I'm looking up items and doing modding stuff, so that's how boring we're doing. I'm doing a balance pass for stuff for Beyond Hell. Anyway, so I guess we're gonna go bottom heavy on my list because bottom feeder apparently isn't in the game yet or anymore. All right, let's flip on down through F model and find the stat parameters, and then we wanted to kind of buff everything on bottom heavy because bottom heavy starts out okay, but it's not great. So we're gonna give it 10% fire rate to start, and then increase by 2%. So it should be about 30% fire rate at the bottom half. And we're gonna give it some more reload speed. Okay. So just slightly buffs everything. So let's go ahead and do this. What? Oops. Of course I grabbed the wrong thing again. Okay. So let's go ahead and do bottom heavy. Actually, I think I can probably just change the last bit because it's all in the same directory. Yeah. Yeah, apparently it's spirit feeder now. I didn't recall. Alright, so let's go base use fire rate. So we're going to change it from 7 to 10%. And then we're going to do reload speed bonus is 15%. Right? 1.5% for every 10% missing. Okay. So reload speed bonus. Oops. And then so 0.2. So you get, rather than 15%, you have 20% reload speed or fire rate. Yeah, I think that's okay. Increment is 2%. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just do a slight increase there. All right. Charged wounds. Let's see. I think that might be in the DLC area, so let me start crossing these off. No, actually, no, I need to save this just so I have a record of what changed. Charged wounds. Then DLC. Where did we get charged wounds? Dreadful, Fetid, Maelstrom, Prophecy, Sleeper. This is DLC 1. Is it really DLC 3 that we got it? New Spider Pressure, slowly 1,000 cuts, Searing Wounds. It must have been. I thought we got it sooner. Yeah, there it is. Charge wounds. Okay. I'm actually surprised. I don't recall getting charged wounds the last DLC. It makes sense. It comes from Narud, but I just thought that we had charge wounds sooner. Weird. Doing that. I gotta stop copying and paste stuff. Alright, so grab that. As I copy and paste stuff. Charge wounds. Max stacks was 5, which I think is okay, but I wanted to give it more percent than 5%. Wait, is this the right section? Maybe it's the action? Hang on. Or is this the shock? No, I think this might be. Let's see. Check for damage if this is the shock. And I don't see any damage, so it's probably not the shock. Then is this the reload speed? So, give me action. This is so boring, isn't it? Like, I'm just fucking flipping through the ridiculous tree of files. So that's the radius. Max stacks 5. Oh, there it is. Overload damage. Alright. Okay, so then let's go ahead. We have charge wounds. Let's go overload damage, we're going to change that from 75 to 100, make it just slightly stronger overload. The 75 damage over 10 seconds is pitiful. And then I wanted to make the fire rate and reload speed slightly better on it, because right now you get 5% fire rate and reload per overloaded enemy within 15 meters. And honestly, it's not going to be a whole lot. So I wanted to make that like 7%. But where is that 5? Which I can't really find. Which is why I think action. I think it's under the action, but 2.5. Oh, 2.5 min max value. That's so it starts at 2.5% per, and then it goes to 5%. So that 5 is should go to 7. So max value should be 7. Let's go. Max value 7.0. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh my god! I just realized how fucking long this is gonna take me. Ugh. Okay. Then 3 items. Detonator. All right. Detonator was, I want to say DLC 1 was Detonator. Nope. That was in DLC 3. I can never remember where stuff came from, apparently. Alright. Detonator. Where are your parameters? There we go. No, that's pool size. No, it's not there. Man, Ari had given me a really good search tool to find stuff before, and I lost it. Here, is this it? MO, radius, threshold, min-max. Yeah, okay. Detonator. Okay, so Detonator, not a terrible mutator, but I wanted to increase the base damage from 10 to 13 and the radius slightly. So radius is 50. So let's change radius from 0.5 meter to 1 meter. So maybe you can blow up something nearby. And the base damage is 10, so we're gonna do max value again from 10 to 13, so it'll be a little bit stronger and a bigger radius, and hopefully that's enough for that. All right, and then Dreadful. Dreadful. I think Dreadful is literally just dreadful. Alright, so Dreadful is range damage by 2% for every 5% of total health as gray health, but a max of a 20% increase. So when you have, like, was it 40%? No, 10. You have to have 50% of your health as gray health to get 20%. And then with any amount of gray health, you get 25% reload speed. That's cool. Hi, Sib. But having 20% range damage, which you can get on like anything else, like 25% there, you can get Deadly Calm. Having to lock 50% of your health beyond gray health to get that is no bueno. So if I can make that 30%, might be useful. 30% is decent. Maybe even 35 to be honest. Let's see about 35. So reload speed, 25% reload speed's good, but let's change the damage to 35% instead of 20%. I don't know why I keep doing that, but I type in stuff manually. Then let's go 35. Yeah, I really think 25% reload speed's enough. 5% health, so 10%. Yeah, I think maybe. But like, I want gray health to be appealing, because right now, like when you do gray health builds, you're basically getting what everyone else gets without the strings attached. So gray health is kind of like meh. So I want to make gray health more appealing. Maybe some more damage is more appealing. Farsighted, also bad. Alright, so Farsighted was anything over 25 meters. So you're at 25 meters, you get the max buff, right? So it's 2.5% for every 2.5 meters up to 25%. So yeah. So you need to be 25 meters away for 25% damage. And anything closer, you're just losing damage. And then you get, 5-meter range. So 5-meter range isn't terrible. Not great. But I think the issue with this, maybe I should bump the meter to 10 meters, because even with this, like if you were to put it on like a coach gun, which has got 15-meter range, I believe, this you can't even get like an optimal range and get most use out of this. So maybe I'll put it to 10 meters. Farsighted. I missed these. Getting stupid errors. Just make sure everything's good. So I should always copy that first. Alright, Farsighted. Alright, so we're gonna do distance is 25 meters. Max damage buff is 25%. Range buff is 500. So let's go range buff. Let's go 1,000. So we get 10 meters. 2.5% per distance. Max damage buff. Alright. And then if we're going to do 30% damage, if you're at peak distance. So the max value is going to be from 2.5% to 3.5. That's it. What's that? Yeah. 2.5, 3. Max value 3. Actually, I don't recall if this is case sensitive, but I want to be very careful. It might be case sensitive. Alright, so we'll do that for rangefinder. Moving down the list. That one. Feedback. Actually, I'm not going to change feedback. I think feedback's okay. Fetid, I wanted to change. So you don't need 5 dots for it. You needed 3, so it's just going to revert the numbers. So you can cap at 3 dots rather than 5. So I know DLC 1 has got fetid. I don't like fetid only being really good if you're just putting on like miasma or a bunch of dots. Like I want it to be good, but not have to run every single dot. Where is properties of this one? Holy crap, why can't I find it? Oh, is it? Element size? No. Well, I can't find the parameters for fetid. Let's see. Nope, it's not that far down. Oh my gosh, okay. Where the heck is fetid parameters? It's usually near the bottom. Oh, this is so boring. I get a million messages. Wow, I don't know why I can't find this one. Oh my god, it was literally right here at the bottom. It's, how did, oh, it was like at the very bottom. Okay, finally. Alright, let's grab this. Copy really quick. Okay, so I need this chunk of data for fetid rounds. And then we want corrosive duration's fine, but I want corrosive damage up to 100. And I want crit chance max is 15 is fine, but max value I want 5 because I want this to be 5% crit with 15% max, so you only have 3 statuses. So that is fine. That should be all I need for that. Okay. Finally, it took forever to find that, and of course I just did that again. All right, next on my list. Oh, this is gonna be slow. Class default object. Is that it? Is that what it is? Class default object. Dude, if you know F model, there was because I had something the search before, and I forgot what it was. I think class default object might be right. If that is right, I love you. So I'm gonna go find something else really quick. Ghost Shell. Ghost Shell is terrible. We're gonna make Ghost Shell better. And then class default object. Ah! It brought me like right here. Where is it? There we go. Yep. Okay. You're awesome. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab Ghost Shell. Okay, so Ghost Shell. So the Ghost Shell thing is you get every third weak spot, you get 40% damage in the next weak spot, which isn't a whole lot of increased damage. So we're gonna go ahead and make it every third's fine, but we're gonna increase the damage from 40% to 70%. So that, because with 40% on average, you're getting like, I don't know, every third shot's 4%, like what, 13% more damage, something like that. Which again, not great considering that all the other mutators that are given about 20% range damage, and this also requires specifically doing consecutive weak spot hits. So 70% over 3 should be like 23%. So much better, but because there's strings attached. All right, hidden power. Hidden power. I love you so much. No more flippin' searching. I can stop copying that. Alright, so hidden power. What do I want to do for hidden power? 7-second duration to 12 seconds and 30% damage. So, buff duration. We gotta go 5 more seconds on that. And then max value is gonna be 30% instead of 25. Okay, next one. Ingenuity. So ingenuity was reload speed while your heat was high, but also reduces the heat of the weapon. This one kind of sucks in paper because you're not getting any damage out of anything on it, and reload speed based on heat accumulation is kind of a, like, it seems crazy high at 55%, but you know, that's only if the second you hit reload you're at like max heat. So you're trading a lot of damage for kind of a niche thing. So nobody uses ingenuity really, so I'm just gonna crank up the reload speed on that, and if it turns out to be OP, we'll deal with it later, but I just gotta get people wanting to play with different mods right now. Ingenuity. All right. So reload speed buff is gonna be 55. Oh, because it's tied. You can only change that. Okay. Generation's 30 max. I'm gonna keep the heat generation as is, but we're gonna change the reload speed buff to 100%. So you just get double reload speed if you happen to hit. Basically, your reload speed is gonna be increased based upon your heat gauge at when it's at 100%. So if you have full heat, then it's 100%. If you have half heat, you're at 50%. It should make reloading these weapons quicker. But again, you're also trading all the damage mods you'd get for the mutator. So I think it's pretty fair for now, until like it proves otherwise. Insulator. We're just gonna give it some more duration real quick. Maybe a little bit more crit chance. Insulator. Huh. It's got another action tag. Let's see why I would need that. Let's see. Insulator. Health threshold, shield duration. Yeah, so shield duration we're gonna just give a little bit more time on. Oh, we could just type it out quicker, but whatever. We're gonna make that 15 seconds instead of 10 seconds. Ranged crit chance mod, we're gonna change from 10 to 15%, get a little bit more crit. And everything else is going to be the same. Okay. Kill switch. I want to reduce the cooldown. Kill switch. Kill switch is cool. It's every time you swap, you do like that little explosion. But it did like very little damage on a 10-second cooldown, and I didn't really like it. So make it just a little bit stronger. Kill switch, kill switch, kill switch. Alright, kill switch, cooldown. We're gonna make cooldown 5 seconds. And then the base damage is 250, and we're gonna change that to 300 to give it just a little bit more damage out of it. So between the cooldown reduction and the added damage, maybe you can blow up some mobs, swap weapons, blow up some mobs, swap weapons, etc., etc. Hopefully that works out. Alright, next one, Lively. We're just going to put some duration on that. Okay, so reload speed buff, range buff, buff duration, 7. Let's go 12. Just let stuff last a little bit longer. Bonus duration 15, which was that? Reload speed 3%, 5 stacks, that's 15% reload speed. We could probably make the reload speed a little higher too. Bring it to 4%, so 20% reload, 20% damage. That's okay. Reload speed buff. Make that 0.04. Alright, Lively, done. Nearsighted, we're gonna have more damage and more crit. You know what? I'm not gonna change the range. I want us to be up close and personal. 10 meters is a little too far. Wait, actually, did they change? I forgot. Did they change the Challenger to be 7 meters, or did it go from 5 to 7 or from 7 to 10? It is 10. Okay, so I will move it to 10 meters because I want everything to match Challenger. Alright. So we will change that. Nearsighted. Alright, so let's go distance. 700 meters to 1,000. That way we match Challenger's distance. And then yeah, I wanted 25 and 15. Slightly better stats because you're having to fight a very specific range. So ranged crit buff. Then max value. Alright, so slightly better nearsighted gem. Alright. Pressure point. Again, moving the meters from 7 to 10. So it's so weird because they changed a lot of stuff to reflect Challenger's distance going up, but not all of it. So some stuff went out to 10, some didn't. Everything was originally 7 meters because the Challenger was 7 meters. The distance 10. I'm gonna do blast damage, slightly more blast damage. We'll go from 50 to 60. Make it just a hairpin stronger, and that should be it. Alright. Prophecy. See, Prophecy is one of the things that I really wish they didn't change. The level 10 effect on it now is that for every stack of Prophecy, you get 3% movement speed, which means you get 15% movement speed. And before, it was increases mod no. What was it before? It was reduce mod costs and I think increase mod generation. Yeah, and they got rid of that, which sucks, but you know, necessary evil. But I don't want it to have movement speed. There's just nothing I can really do right now about it. Speed buff. Ugh. Alright, so we're gonna do move speed buff from 3 to 5%. And then, is that all I had on it? Increase the duration. And 6% to 7%. Not really? Yes. Well, no, it's already 30%. That's good. I will do the buff duration, but I don't know what I was thinking. Just make that 15 seconds instead of 10 seconds. And that's it. I copied that. Okay. Refunder. We're gonna get really refundy with Refunder. Okay. Huh. My level set bonus is 25. Value max value is 0.2 and 0.5. Okay, that's 50%, 25%. Okay. So let's go ahead and do Thunder Gem. We do max level stat bonus. We're gonna crank that to 50%. So rather than 25% of the ammo that you pick up going to the other weapon, that's gonna be 50% of the 50% of the ammo pickup going to the other weapon. And then max value. Like that. 0.75. So now 75% chance to, when you pick up ammo, to pick it up and give it to your other weapon. So it's going to refund a lot more. And the reason why I want this to be a thing is because right now, doing like the MO swap pretty much only works with Provisioner's Ring. And Refunder is kind of there, but I think Refunder can work on its own without having to use Provisioners. You just don't get the automatic reload. You have to pick up ammo to do the reload, but I think you can still do reload swap that way if it was better between like Lively and Refunder. So I kind of want to do that. So... Alright, next one. I don't even want to touch Repercussion. I don't understand what Repercussion was going for. You hit an enemy, and you get a stack of Repercussion. So you increase your range damage by 6% per stack, so you can get up to 3% or 30% damage. But every time you shoot, you lose a stack, whether or not you hit or not. So the only way to gain stacks is by hitting more than one enemy at a time per shot, which you can do with Aphelion and like some explosive weapons, but that's about it. So I don't know, I don't like this thing at all, and I want to change it mechanically, so I'm not going to touch it right now. Searing Wounds. I think I was just going to make the fire dot slightly better because 50 damage over 5 seconds is literal nothing. So I was just going to make it over like 10 seconds, like 100 over 10, same DPS, just make it a slightly longer dot. Yeah. Alright. Bedded Wounds. Searing Wounds. So yeah, fire damage 50, 100. And then we'll go burn duration. Do 10 seconds. Yeah, same DPS, just kind of want to make it not fall off immediately. And then that should be good. We're not going to give it any more damage or nothing. It is good as is. Okay. Slayer. We're going to make it last longer and give you more reload speed, which should help snipers. Snipers really need a lot of help. Why is this one different? It says it's got damage mod is 10? I don't know what that damage mod's for. Does it have like a hidden, just normal 10% damage bonus? Huh. Anyway, buff duration. Let's go 5 seconds. 5 from 3. Just give it a little bit more time. And then max value, we're going to do 30%, right? Oh no, reload speed. 15 to 20. Max level stat bonus. Go 0.2. Alright, Sleeper. Sleeper's a cool thing. I wanted it to be better, so we're just getting a little bit more duration. And then increase the crit damage. Sleeper. Alright, so sleeper, we're gonna have threshold time to activate 5 seconds is fine. Crit chance buff is already 25? Why does mine say 15? Oh, level 10 crit. Oh, that's crit chance. Crit damage buff. It's a weird way. I don't think I've ever seen level 10 crit damage buff as like a modifier. We're gonna go 20% instead of 15. And then the duration. Stow for 5 seconds. You get 10 seconds of duration. What else did I have written on here? Why would I have increased from 5 seconds to 7 seconds? That makes no sense. Just buff the crit damage on empowered a little bit. No, increase the duration from 10 seconds to 15. I don't know what I was thinking, but okay. So maybe sleeper might be decent. All right. Almost done with ranged mutators. This is so tedious. I'm almost done with like this section. Oh, you guys can't even see it because it's over chat. But this section, almost done. And I got all of this. Alright. So after Sleeper was Spellweaver. I actually like Spellweaver, but it was only really good with the Monolith. And after they kind of gutted Monolith, it's kind of like, eh. So I kind of want to see if we just make it proc more skill cooldown, if it's a little bit better. So let's find, is it DLC 1? Maelstrom.
That was too soft.
No, man, I know what Maelstrom is. Spellweaver. No, it's DLC 2. It's Gage show. Yeah. With Monolith, duh. Alright, so back here. And then duration's fine. Skill cooldown reduction is 1 second per 100 mod power. I'm gonna say 80 mod power, so we'll give it a little bit more chances to proc. Okay, so 80. And is that it? Oh, it increased mod damage from 15 to 20%. So I don't have to change that part. Okay, cool. So do that. Almost there. Jesus. Spirit Feeder. I don't even recall what Spirit Feeder did. Reload the weapon, increases damage by 30%. That's not terrible. And casting on mod, increase reload speed by 25%. That's not terrible. Oh, just that's why. It's just we're gonna have duration, right? Yeah, we're just gonna buff the duration. It's actually not bad. It just doesn't last long. Okay. Spirit Feeder. Now, interestingly, I don't think there is a Spirit Feeder anymore. I think it's Bottom Feeder. Just gonna check. It's not in any of these. Okay, so I'm gonna change Bottom Feeder. So I think that's actually where it's gonna target. And then I'm gonna reload the game and see if that change takes effect. Because after spawning it, I realized I was getting the wrong item and that bottom feeder is no longer a thing. So bottom feeder, we're just gonna increase the duration from 7 seconds to 12. And reload buff duration from 7 seconds to 12. Okay. So it's a decent chunk of changes. Let me quit, load it back up, and see if it made the changes. Specifically, I need to look at Spirit Feeder. This might crash if I... Actually, it won't crash if I did something wrong. Just nothing in the script will work. Which, hopefully I didn't do anything wrong, but every now and then, upper lowercase letter, a comma will be missing something, or Steam just isn't going to load it because my computer hates this game so much. Commas are in place. I think I'm okay. No. Which means nothing got changed. Which means I made a mistake somewhere. Alright. Where the fuck did I go wrong? Somewhere it's a spelling error. Or grammatical error. So we started in the mutators. So commas. Commas are there. Single lines don't have commas. Commas are all in these doubles, and it's got 2 has a comma. Okay. Commas are there. I separated everything with brackets. Yeah, see, all the brackets are there. This is the worst part. I wish I had a way to check for syntax errors. Quote somewhere. Maybe a quote was messed up. Start from the top. Alright, so I got quotes around the item and the skill. Quotes around the item and skill. Quotes. 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 Oh man, what the heck? Oh, capital letters. Fucking capitals. Everything's got to be perfectly correct. Okay. That's two fixes. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was just those. Can we stop running? Thank you. All right, trying this again. Do we have changes? Still no. What did I do wrong? Which means nothing in the Lua works, which means the easy check we have is Band of the Soliest. Where's Bandits? Do I have that on this character? Huh. Thought I would. Anyway. Okay, so where did I make a mistake? Oh, you know what? It might be that. This is the worst part. It's also why you can't go like a whole lot of time without testing, because you'll never know. Come on, just be that bracket. Yay, it was that bracket. Okay, so we do have 12-second Spirit Feeder. Bottom feeder is Spirit Feeder. So that works, which means everything else works. Fetid wounds did not change. Charged wounds did. I wonder if that's just a visual. %. Oh, I didn't change it. Should be 5% with max value of 15. There we go. Okay, ingenuity might be a little too much there. Ingenuity, it's 100. Okay, so that's so weird. If I take off 2 digits, 10,000%. Yeah, it should be 100%. Okay, we'll do that. I'm not even gonna bother trying to check that one. So 1% or 100% there. Okay. Kill switch. Okay, so that does still have a 5-second cooldown. Great. I think it's a bit more serviceable. 10 seconds was just too bad. Alright, alright. Battery. Oh, where's Ghost? Yeah, every third consecutive lead spot does 70% damage. Yeah, okay, cool. Every now and then you get 170s. What's the DPS increase from this one mutator? Alright, so let's just say this gun's doing 750 DPS between reloads. Yeah, let's just say 750. And then we'll compare it to something generic like Deadly Calm. That's if you hold down ADS. Alright, I'm gonna say it's about the same. Okay, so Ghost is about as good as, 30% damage and 10% crit. So Ghost is usable now. I'm curious if it would be better for something like where's it? Yeah, Trinity. Oh, actually, does it even apply to Trinity? 710. It's always 710, huh? Interesting. You can't ghost Trinity. Huh. Because it's one hit. It just looks like 3. Why wouldn't it count on like the 3rd hit then? That was just a crit. Huh. Or it just doesn't work for projectiles? What's crossbow? No, it definitely works on crossbow, so it goes from 950 to 16. Huh. It doesn't work on Trinity for some reason. I wonder why that is. Alright, I'll have to write that one down. That's a weird one. But alright, so it looks like all the mutator changes are good for there. Yeah. One meter detonator is obviously not going to be enough to splash onto something. That guy get hit? Ah, interesting. I didn't realize that you could detonator, shoot the floor, and the explosion will hit the floor, and if you hit the target... Why would it hit twice? You hit the target and it blows up. If you hit the floor, it blows up and hits. No, it doesn't. You have to hit the target. Maybe I will. Maybe that just counts as hitting it. Maybe I'm just being dumb. No, because yeah, that's definite miss, and it hit. Huh. What? I don't know. Alright, whatever. That's just being weird. Anyway, I'm gonna keep moving on now that I got that part taken care of. Okay. Where were we? Spirit Healer. I'm gonna give more regen to allies so you can heal minions better. Spirit Healer. We're gonna go ally buff amount from 50% to 75%. Okay. Should be easy enough to test later. Superheated. Superheated is another cool one that just stat-wise was terrible. Because you can only use it on like a few different guns. And getting a 150 damage pulse every 3 seconds while you're, trying to maintain heat isn't doing a whole lot of damage for you. Let's see, who's it for? Is that the woodpecker on this guy? No. Alright. You have to be at 100% heat? At max heat, you do have to hit 100% heat. That's terrible. It's such a bad mutator. Yeah, and you like that tiny ass 8 dot. It's fucking awful. Alright. Yeah, alright. Superheated. Probably DLC 2? No. 3. Narude. Alright. Oh, I did not. Superheated. Alright. So 25% heat threshold's fine. Radius is what, 3 meters? Right? No, 11. It's 11 meters. Radius 350? Maybe that scales with the level, because 11 meters is kind of crazy. Radius bonus. Huh. Alright. Alright, let's crank up the burn damage for the big pulse. It's at 100 over 20 seconds, which is like Searing Wounds level of dot. It's terrible. It's not oh, it's diameter? Even if it says radius, it's actually diameter? Huh. Okay. I did not know that. So anyway, so burning damage, 300 over 20 would be slightly more than standard dots, which I think is okay. It's still only going to tick for a very tiny amount, but you know, it's more about putting a fire debuff on something. 300 explosive damage, which is the level 10. We're gonna make the actual explosion do a decent chunk. Alright, so let's say base 500. Does this even scale? This is 300 at plus 20. Let's say 600. Let's go 600 damage. We'll do double damage on the explosion. Is there something that's like really fast heat generation? Like, oh, like cube gun? Hang on. So explosion with scaling hits for about 1,000. So if we doubled it, the explosion hit for about 2k. I don't think that's fair for something that you have to force reload to trigger. It might just clear out nearby enemies. I think that's fine. I don't think it's gonna break anything on a heat gun. Alright. So, superheated, so we buff the damage. Oh, the cooldown is 3 seconds. What is cooldown on this? Key threshold 25, radius, blah blah blah. I want to say it's the max value. That's probably it. And if that's the case, then I'm gonna save this and check real quick, and then we're gonna make this 1.5, and that way you should be able to do the blasts more frequently. And if that's the case, then it might be a decent option, because right now for like heat management weapons, you pretty much always put on some form of heat generation, either like a trinket or prism fragments, and then you either ignore the heat generation things on your weapons and just run things like momentum or 1,000 cuts. So I want heat things to matter. Let's try this again. Oh, did I edit that properly? It should be. But make sure I didn't make any spelling errors or something. Oh, my game crashed. Did I make any spelling errors? Did I make any errors at all? Comma. No, I think I'm okay. If I crash again, I'll be a little annoyed. Okay. Okay, so yeah, superheated got way buff, and that duration is the pulse tick, so it starts at 5, then as you level up, it gets down to 3. So, all right. So then this should be a lot chunkier. Yeah. And then if we take this off here, actually I don't have to take it off. This should build this. Oh, I just killed myself. The explosion hitting yourself sucks. I have kinship. Let's kinship real quick. I hate how mandatory kinship is. It's so dumb. Especially on like Apocalypse and shit. And then what if I put on the thermal exhaust port? Where is that? Pretty sure it should be around here. I know what it looks like. Looks like there it is. Exhaust valve. So exhaust valve should let me fire while I'm still overheated. But will that let me pulse every 1.5 seconds while overheated? It does. That's kind of cool. I don't hate that at all. Hey, Blade Runner. The Return to the Ward event, it's fun. It actually got me reinvigorated into Remnant. Like, after playing with Bolt and whatnot, I've been really wanting to go back and do everything I can to finish up this Beyond Hell mods, which is why I'm spending today rebalancing a lot of stuff while I have the chance and while it's fresh on my mind. I like that now, actually. I think those two make a pretty cool combo. And you might be able to build a fire setup around that. Is there any other heat guns that we can use? Is there very many heat long guns? Oh, where's the woodpecker? Perhaps. Give me the woodpecker. Oh, I don't know if I've shown you guys the throwing knives. So we have like an assassin archetype we were working on too. I really need these finished. So the throwing knives, the animation's not there, but basically it throws a knife on the light attack. See that knives thrown in the walls? And then you're supposed to be able to charge, throw like a fan of knives essentially. But we need to finish that. But it's a ranged, it's like an actual full ranged melee. And it's really fucking fast. You just throw knives. I need that to get finished. It's gonna be so cool. But anyway, what was I doing? Woodpecker. It's superheated. This one doesn't have ammo to keep doing that. Alright, whatever. Yeah, it's good to try. Alright, anyway, done messing around. Let me go back and work on these. Alright, so superheated looks cool now. Time wave, I want to reduce the cooldown on time wave. It's a cool mutator, but not being able to slow stuff more than once every 10 seconds kinda sucks. You know, I gotta write this down. Like, text myself that just so I don't forget. Because I forgot it once before. Why is everyone texting? Anyway, superheated. Time wave. So we're just gonna do cooldown. Duration is gonna be 10 into 5. And that's it. Okay. Time wave. Top heavy. Top heavy is another thing that's like, it was just never even good on paper. Because like, when you're at max weapon size, like it's okay. And then as long as you're like not a one-shot weapon, it immediately tanks. And if you're a one-shot weapon, just pick Slayer. So let's go top heavy. Yeah, I did that wrong. All right. All right, top heavy. And so we're gonna make it so the damage is going from 15 to 20 at max value, and the weak spot damage is from 20 to 25. Weak spot max. Five. And then we'll do max value from 15. It's 15% damage when you're at top magazine. We'll make that. Oops. Is it 20? 25. 25 and 25. That might be a little good, but again, it's a very temporary fleeting buff. It might be better for single shot weapons, but then they lose reload speed off of Slayer. Automatics are immediately going to lose as soon as they start dumping clip size, so yeah, alright. It's not great. Transpose. I want to transpose to be slightly better. We're just going to increase the damage from max level bonus value from 15 to 20. Or, no, not that one. Max level bonus value. Max level is just what gets MO. 15 seconds. Max level bonus value. I'm not going to touch that, I guess. I don't really know what the max level... why would that change? Alright. Transpose. Grab that. Then we're going to do... max value. Just put that in. From 15 to 20. And Twisted, which I was just gonna make the bleed slightly better. I actually even need to. I think like it serves its purpose. The bleed's just really bad. It's 150 over 20 seconds, right? Yeah. Like, it's really bad. Well, yeah, maybe we'll just put the bleed up to 20, so it's a 100, 1 DPS per second kind of thing. Or 10 DPS per second. Like, all the other terrible, terrible dots are. So 150 to 200 for bleed damage. Oberon. Hi, Orla. What's up? What's that all about? Here. I see there. Oh, dog just got up and barked. I don't know if he woke himself up or what. Alright. Anyway, that should be all of the ranged weapon mutator changes. I'm going to verify that they work. And then I think I'm going to stop there because I didn't realize how slow this is going to be. Been on for almost 2.5 hours. Just about 2.5 hours. And I did... How many lines is this? 32 lines out of 189. Which really is more like 30, but I got a long ways to go. I unfortunately have a long ways to go, but I'm gonna get this done today. Like, this is what I'm doing today. I want to get up and have a break, and I don't want to sit here and be on stream for the next 4 hours just fucking clicky clacking away. But I need to get Beyond Hell Pass Change. Boop. Balance patch. Alright. And it always crashes the first time I load it up after I change the file. I don't know why that is. T-Jar. T-Jar. Alright, go lay down. We're crashing again. Did I do something wrong? So I have my ending brackets. I have my space between everything. I last checked things on bottom feeder. So it should be this that's changed. Comma, 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 no comma, no comma, no comma. I don't see anything wrong. My computer really hates this game, though. Okay. This time I loaded. Alright, cool. So... yeah, Twisted Wounds, 200 damage. Okay, cool. So, all the ranged mutators got a quick pass. 25%. Top heavy on 25 should be pretty good. I think for like bows and stuff it'll be really nice, but I don't know if it's gonna be able to compete with charge time still. I was like, why did it have weak spots? Coach gun's a shotgun, no weak spot damage. It's a pretty sizable damage jump. This weak spot and range damage. So it's like the first hit is 300 a burst. Well, I guess 200. I guess those crits. And then it drops down to 150. Yeah, it's a pretty sizable drop off. 13, 19. Yeah. It's a good chunk of damage. But it's like, why would you do that when you can run Supercharger, right? More crit and fire rate. Like, that's gotta be more DPS. At least it's gotta be comparable DPS. Maybe that's an option. Maybe you do like a super slow setup with like slow charge. Because I know there's an item that's like, it's for slow charging things. You do this, you run like Strand of Sinew after I buff it because it's terrible right now. And then there's there's that other ring that lets you hold stuff down. This one, Force Multiplier, so you overcharge. You just have like this really fucking slow charge. That might be a thing. That might be kind of cool. But anyway, all right. I am going to stop streaming here. I've been on for almost 3 hours, and I'm getting so bored. I need to get up and walk around. So I don't want to keep sitting on stream doing all this stupid writing of this code. So, anyhoozle, thanks to people who hung around. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jarazar, for giving me the class default object search because that helped me tremendously. Yeah. I don't know if you guys want to, check for updates in the Beyond Hell mod. Check on the Discord. We do have a new Discord for that. You can yell at me on my Discord. You can yell at me on any of the Remnant associated Discords. I'm in literally all of them. Yeah. So if you got questions, let me know. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Peace, y'all. Have fun. See you. Okay, bye.